At 2:43 in the morning. A young man sat alone in a dark room staring at his phone. No messages. No missed calls. No opportunities. Just one number on his screen. $0. That was everything he had left in his bank account. Outside, rain hit the windows softly. Inside, silence slowly crushed him. Most people would have accepted defeat. Most people would have told themselves, maybe success just isn't for me. But something strange happened that night. Instead of giving up, he made a decision that sounded completely insane. A decision that would eventually make millions of people know his name. But before the success, before the money, before the fame, there were years of rejection, loneliness, and failure nobody ever saw. And honestly, if just one thing had gone differently, this story would have ended very differently. Before anyone knew his name, he was invisible. He lived a normal life in a small apartment where every month felt like survival. Bills stacked on tables. Stress filled the house. Conversations about money never ended. As a kid, he noticed something early. Adults were always tired. His parents worked hard. Yet nothing really changed. No matter how much effort people gave, they still seemed trapped. And that scared him. Because deep down, he knew he didn't want to live like that forever. But dreams are dangerous when you grow up with limited options. Every time he talked about wanting a different life, people smiled politely. Some laughed. Others called him unrealistic. Be practical. Get a stable job. Stop wasting time online. He heard it constantly. And eventually, those voices started becoming louder than his own thoughts. However, one thing about him never changed. Curiosity. While everyone around him accepted reality, he became obsessed with people who escaped it. Successful entrepreneurs. Creators. Millionaires. He spent hours watching documentaries late at night wondering, how did they do it? How did ordinary people become extraordinary? And then, one discovery changed everything. At first, it started innocently. A random video recommendation. How I made money online. Normally he would have skipped it. But something about the thumbnail made him click. The creator talked about building skills online. Freelancing. Content creation. Digital businesses. No office. No degree requirement. No rich family needed. Just internet access, and consistency. It sounded fake. Too good to be true. But the more he researched, the more he realized something shocking. People were actually doing this. Regular people. Not celebrities. Not geniuses. And suddenly, his world became bigger. However, there was one problem. He had no skills. No experience. And absolutely no idea where to begin. But instead of stopping, he became obsessed. Every single day after that, he disappeared deeper into the internet. Learning. Watching tutorials. Taking notes. Hours turned into nights. Nights turned into months. And slowly, without realizing it, he stopped thinking like everyone around him. But obsession comes with a cost. And soon, that cost became painfully clear. Nobody talks enough about how embarrassing failure feels when nobody believes in you. His first online business idea failed. Then the second. Then the third. Every new attempt started with excitement. And ended with disappointment. He tried dropshipping. Didn't work. Tried graphic design. No clients. Tried trading. Lost money. Tried YouTube. Barely any views. And every failure made him feel smaller. Meanwhile, life around him kept moving. Friends got jobs. People graduated. Others seemed happy. While he sat alone in front of a glowing laptop screen wondering if he was ruining his future. The worst part wasn't failing. It was feeling stuck. Feeling invisible. Feeling like no matter how hard he worked, nothing changed. And eventually, self-doubt arrived. Maybe everyone was right. Maybe success stories only happen to lucky people. Maybe he simply wasn't talented enough. But then, something happened that completely changed his mindset. One night, he came across an interview with a successful entrepreneur. The interviewer asked, "What made the biggest difference in your life?" The entrepreneur smiled and said, "I stopped focusing on making money, and started focusing on becoming valuable." That sentence hit him hard. Because suddenly, everything made sense. He had spent years chasing shortcuts. Fast money. Quick success. Instant results. But successful people weren't chasing money first. They built skills first. And this is where everything changed. The next morning, he made a decision. For 1 year, he would stop chasing easy money. Instead, he would master one skill. Just one. No distractions. No quitting. And after researching for days, he chose video editing. Not because he loved it, but because he saw demand everywhere. Creators needed editors. Businesses needed content. Attention was becoming the most valuable thing online. And he wanted to become valuable. But the next few months would test him harder than ever before. Every morning became identical. Wake up. Open laptop. Learn editing. Repeat. At first, his work was terrible. Transitions looked awkward. Cuts felt messy. Everything screamed, beginner. But he kept practicing. Hours every single day. While others relaxed. He stayed locked in his room improving tiny details nobody else noticed. And slowly, something started happening. He improved. Not dramatically. Not overnight. Just slightly better every week. However, improvement didn't immediately change his life. Because now he faced a new problem. Nobody knew he existed. So he started cold messaging creators online. Hundreds of messages. Most ignored him. Some rejected him. Others didn't even reply. It was humiliating. But then, after months of silence, one creator finally responded. A tiny project. Only $30. Most people would laugh at that amount. But for him, it felt life-changing. Because for the first time, someone paid for his skill. Proof. Real proof. And from that moment, he became dangerous. Something shifted inside him after that first payment. Suddenly, the impossible felt possible. So he doubled his effort. No more wasting time. No more distractions. While friends partied on weekends, he edited videos until sunrise. While others slept, he studied successful creators frame by frame. And eventually, his work became impossible to ignore. One client became 3. 3 became 10. Income slowly increased. $30 turned into $300. Then $1,000 months started appearing. For the first time in years, he felt hope. Real hope. But success introduced a new emotion he wasn't prepared for. Fear. Because now, he had something to lose. And what happened next nearly destroyed everything. He realized freelancing alone would never create real freedom. Clients could disappear anytime. Platforms could change anytime. So he asked himself one important question. What can nobody take away from me? The answer was simple. An audience. A personal brand. So despite fear, he started posting content online. At first, nobody cared. 10 views. 20 views. Maybe 50 on a good day. But he kept posting. Again. And again. And again. Months passed with almost no growth. Most people would have quit. But he understood something powerful. The internet rewards consistency eventually. And then, it finally happened. One video exploded. Hundreds of thousands of views overnight. Then millions. His phone wouldn't stop vibrating. Followers flooded in. Brands reached out. Opportunities appeared everywhere. And suddenly, the invisible kid nobody believed in became someone everyone noticed. But fame came with a dark side nobody talks about. From the outside, his life looked perfect. Money. Freedom. Recognition. But internally, he was exhausted. Because success online creates pressure most people never see. Pressure to stay relevant. Pressure to constantly win. Pressure to never disappear. Every upload became stressful. Every comment affected him. Every drop in views felt terrifying. And slowly, he realized something painful. The success he dreamed about would not magically make him happy. Because external success cannot fix internal emptiness. And this realization changed him forever. Instead of chasing attention, he started chasing meaning. Real growth. Real purpose. And that decision transformed everything again. Years earlier, he only wanted money. Now, he wanted impact. He wanted to inspire people who felt invisible the same way he once did. So his content evolved. Instead of flexing success, he started sharing struggle, failure, discipline, loneliness. The real story behind achievement. And ironically, that honesty made people trust him even more. Because the world is full of fake success. But authentic struggle connects deeply. And soon, his influence became bigger than money itself. The same person who once refreshed a $0 bank account at 2 a.m. now inspired millions of people around the world. Not because he was perfect, but because he refused to stop. Final lesson. Most people misunderstand success. They think successful people are fearless. They're not. They simply continue despite fear. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary people is often smaller than we think. One more attempt. One more month. One more decision not to quit. That's it. The world only notices winners at the finish line. Nobody sees the years they spent suffering in silence before anyone cared. And maybe that's why so many dreams die early. Because people quit during the invisible phase. The phase where nothing seems to work. But that phase? It's part of the process. 5 years earlier, he had nothing. No money. No audience. No guarantees. Only belief. And sometimes, belief is enough to change everything. Because every success story starts at zero. The question is, will you keep going when life gives you a reason to quit? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy real stories of struggle, ambition, and success, subscribe to Rise from Zero. Until the next story. Keep rising.